Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the devil energy, the driving force. You're somebody intensely motivated. And I've always felt this way about you. I feel like this is really a driving force. This is something that there's just a hunger in you for life, for experience, for success, yeah, for achievement, but for experience, for like to climb to the spiritual heights. Like you want to know the secrets of the universe. You want to know the mysteries of the world. You know, you've got this intense driving force, and I think that you're very much aware of it. And it feels like there's this mad hunger for the infinite, right? And you're learning how to harness this and focus it, right? Because this is that driving force that could be channeled into creativity, into kind of generating success and achievement and connection and fostering community and really building things. But it could also find its way into pleasure-seeking or aggression or any of these other kinds of things that are ultimately destructive, right? So I feel like this is a really, really good card for you. But let's see what we're doing with that energy. There's the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is part of the striving. The Five of Wands is you reaching out and grabbing what you want out of life. This is you reaching for those things. But it's a 5. It's relatively balanced, right? It's kind of right in between a ace and a 10. You know, it shows really the dynamic ability that you have. You've got this driving force, but we know that it's not just pedal to the metal. We're not living life at the red line, right? That you know how to yield and how to strive, and you know the dynamics of life. You don't always play, you know, at the loudest volume. Sometimes you got to play quietly, you know, and that adds to the enjoyment, that adds to the variety of life. Well, let's keep going. Let's do the rest of our cards here. The Three of Swords, Queen of Cups. There's that strength at Nine of Wands. Nine of Cups. Oh, yeah. Four of Pentacles, Princess of Cups. The Eight of Cups, that we don't want, right? That's the position of what we do not want. And more driving force. This is more fire energy. That is the cardinal fire. That's the Knight of Wands, right? So I feel kind of like we are, you're achieving something really, really significant. You're kind of, you're creating a new baseline for yourself, and then you're kind of off to the races again, right? And this is just the beginning. So I feel like this is you achieving something, but it's not, there's not much of a rest in between, you know? I like that we have the nines here, because the nines are the achievement, the happiness, the satisfaction, the love, the bliss, the joy, the living our happy life, following our bliss. But it's not a stop sign, you know? It's an odd number. It keeps going. It's about the way you're living. Not what you're doing, but how you're living, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it over here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, right? And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this discourse you have a hunch about that card, drop your answer in the comments, all right? Let's see what we've got. Where's our major arcana? Well, this is it. Then we've got the 1, the devil card, right? That's what it's all about, right? This is your engine. This is that engine that you just, as long as you keep feeding it gasoline, it's gonna keep going, right? And I think that this is really significant for you. Just look at this Queen of Cups here. This is the gasoline. You've got to know what type of gas your engine needs. What is it that motivates you? What is it that you love? What is it that your heart really desires here? And you've got to find that, because that's your fuel. That's your gasoline. It's your rocket fuel, right? And I think that you've had an idea of this. You've grasped this before. And this is what is motivating you presently. I think this is going to be a really important week. I feel like this is a really important month for you, right? I feel like just June is just going to be absolutely fantastic, okay? Because you know what your heart desires. You're using it as gasoline. You know how to drive the car. You know that you can't just red line it. You can't just put the pedal to the metal all the time, right? So you understand the give and take, the push and pull, the striving, and the yielding of life. Yeah, you know how to drive the car. And what is that leading you to but that nine of cups? And that 9 of cups is the lifestyle, right? It's the way you're living. It's how you're doing what you're doing and why you're doing it. The what, I don't know. Look, we have one measly earth card here. I don't know what you're doing. And as I very often say, it doesn't really matter. As long as it is your heart's desire, and as long as it is fueling your creative drive. Because that combination, having that fuel for that engine and knowing how to drive, is giving you the happy life, the following your bliss, the pursuing of those things that give your life meaning and significance and satisfaction, okay? Now, we've got our major. We've got fire, we've got cluster of water energy here, and then we've got this one back here. So what we know about the water energy, and this is very significant, we know what our heart desires, and this is the old queen, right? This is the young princess. So this is kind of saying we have to renew that desire, that heart's desire. It's not always going to be the same thing, okay? Because this is energy that is already starting to age, right? And then once this reaches a certain, once you've put all that gasoline and that little gas tank's empty, that little spare, the red one, that you pour into the car, then we've got to find another one. We've got to find another source of that gasoline, right? And I feel like this is something that's happening now. I feel as if this is that old tank of gas. That's just about done. Whatever this was, I feel that it has reached a culmination, it's reached a climax, and you're finding inspiration from a new something, right? So I feel like this is kind of this is almost a renewal of energy. I kind of feel like we're starting something new, or we're renewing our gas tank. We're filling the gas tank back up, okay? And I don't know that this is necessarily like something completely different. But I feel like it's in some way, it's a continuation, but it's a renewal, okay? So this is your heart's desire, and this is kind of like, this is something that is either an expansion of this, or this is something that's kind of like the next phase or the next level, or it's just the natural kind of sequence to things for you, okay? That's very good water energy. And that is leading to, of course, the smooth operation of this life. What we're trying to avoid is the 8. Now the 8, because it's not the 9, it's one short of the 9, right? And this feels like we're trying to avoid running out of gas before we get where we're going. So when we see the 8 and the 9 together like that, it's kind of saying our biggest worry is that we're going to fall just a little bit short of our goal. okay? That it's going to be just beyond our reach, okay? So that's something that you're trying to avoid, obviously. And that's why you've got to be very careful with your fuel. You got to know the mileage that you get. You got to know kind of how far this is going to take you. And when we have to kind of pull over at the gas station and get new gas so that we can get to our goal and not run out of gas before we get where we're going, wherever it is, right? And so that's why we have to kind of know we can't just floor it the whole time. We're going to burn up all the gas and we're not going to get very far. So we're light with the pedal. We know when to speed up. We know when to just kind of coast. And I think this is really giving you more mileage in your vital energy, okay? And I don't know what your ambitions are. That's kind of the point of this. It's not really about that. But I feel like this is going to be the most important month of the year for you, okay? Because I feel like this is when we're kind of learning exactly how this machine functions and how to keep it running smoothly. And this is the month, I think, where everything kind of goes according to plan. Everything goes well. Everything is just right. You know what to avoid. You know when to stop and get more gas. And even if this means you're kind of taking a break, you're stepping away from things for a few minutes, you're taking a couple days for yourself, or you're just, you're doing those things to replenish your own vitality. Okay? And maybe it means you're really intensely in love with something. Maybe it means taking a day away from it, so that when you return to this project or this art or this job or this creativity or this relationship, it feels new again. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So this might be, taking a day or something away, focusing on something else so that when you come back to this art project or whatever, you have that renewed love, and energy and ambition and enthusiasm. The Three of Swords, this is, you have a lot of history, right? You're somebody that you don't forget, right? You may forgive, but you don't forget. So the Three of Swords, I think, is, it's important because you know where you've been, you know what doesn't work. I feel like you've had a lot of things in your life that how to phrase this. You've had some things that haven't worked out for you, okay? And that is something I think you cherish. You wouldn't change those things because it's through those experiences that you learned the ins and outs, the inner workings of this engine, of this life that you're leading. So you know what works because you've pretty much been through everything that doesn't work. Yeah. And so this is an important experience, data set, memories. It's an important history for you. Okay? And I kind of feel as if all of your difficulties, right? And the Three of Swords is memories in general, right? But it's typically focusing on the bad memories, the negative memories, the failed relationships, the heartbreak, the loss, the sorrow, right? But it's through those experiences for you that you find strength and power, right? That you've learned to take all of those experiences and somehow transmute them into something that gives you strength and power. Okay? You're somebody who is intensely driven. And I think when you commit yourself to something, whenever you make an I am or I will or I'm going to statement, well, you do it. You follow through. Your word is your bond. Your word is your oath. Right? Your word is as good as creation itself. You don't break your promises easily. Okay? And if you do break a promise, there's a really good reason for it. You're that kind of person. Okay? You have an intense connection with spirit. And I see this because of the lunar connection here. It's the sun and the moon conjoined. It's this link that you have with your true self, with your psychic energy. It's a linkage with the divine light. And I think that this is very significant to you. I think that your spirituality or your religion or your faith or whatever this is gives you strength. Right? I think you have a spiritual practice that is very empowering. Okay? And I don't know what the deal is with the apple tree or the fruit tree or something. The Spirit's showing me a fruit tree that's near you, and I don't know. I don't know the significance of that. If it could be that maybe that's the spiritual life, is that fruit tree, and it has taken a long time to grow it into a very sturdy and healthy and hardy tree, but now that tree is bearing fruit. Okay, and I think these are the fruit. 9 of Cups. This is going to be a very, very pleasurable month for you, I feel. I feel like everything's really going to be going your way. I feel like you're going to get a lot of satisfaction. You're going to meet a lot of goals and milestones and stuff, but that's kind of beside the point. You're just engaged in this work, in this life, this lifestyle, this way of living that is intensely satisfying to you. And it's almost like the physical manifestations, the 4 of Pentacles that we see, it's just it's just like a side effect. It's just like the byproduct of this life you're leading, And I think everywhere in your life is feeling the effects of this. I think in whatever your work or financial stuff is, that's benefiting. Your creative energy, your love life, your spiritual life, everything just feels like it's very self-directed. Like you're living intentionally right now. And even, yes, not everything's going to absolutely go your way, and I don't think that bothers you. I think because you are engaged in the kind of life that you want to be living, the way you want to be living it. You are able to make choices for yourself and follow through with those choices and decisions, right? So this is a way of life. But moving to the path of the serpent now, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. All right? Let's see. 4 of Pentacles. This is the kind of the new baseline for you. I feel like you've achieved something. You've leveled up, and you're kind of settling into this new place. Maybe literally settling into a new home or a new job or a new lifestyle or a new business or a new creative endeavor or something like that. I feel like we're settling in somewhere. Yeah. And I feel like you have a strong ability right now to say no to things, right? We've got some walls. Of course we do. And those walls are important. Those walls are boundaries. Those walls are saying, look, I have this energy, I have this experience, I have this, really amazing energy here. And you're safeguarding it, right? You're not just letting anybody in. You are, you're keeping your doors and windows locked, okay? But the important thing with this card is that we still have the doors and windows, right? People could still knock and you can still let them in, or you can still go outside. We don't want to completely isolate, right? So we have this experience of life right now. One important thing for you is to focus on your interpersonal relationships. I feel like there are a lot of new relationships for you somewhere, if it's work or school or home or whatever. There's like new people that you're getting to know, and you're kind of reluctant to let them in. You're not just going to have anybody come over and put their feet on the coffee table, And especially with the Princess of Cups here in the position of the environment, makes me feel that there are new relationships going that you're starting to build on. You're getting to know people on friend level, maybe romantic level, professional levels, business, that sort of thing too. A lot of new relationships that are happening this month, okay? And it's important that you stay careful and cautious. Again, you don't want to just let anybody come on over and help themselves to your refrigerator, right? You're selective, and you're getting to know people, and I think that's an important focus for you right now, is to continue getting to know people. We're trying to avoid the 8 of Cups, obviously, which is the sputtering that we kind of feel when we know the car's running out of gas, and it's just kind of, we're not moving so fast anymore. The gas pedal doesn't really seem to be doing anything. The engine's knocking and rocking, and we know it's going to just crap out pretty soon, right? We want to avoid that. So we get gas, we recharge, we refuel before we get to that point. See, this is a lot of that kind of love energy, that passion, and that interest. Really, it's waning. It's draining out of these cups, right? And that's what we don't want. Okay. So it's important for you to recognize the signs before you get to that point of exhaustion, before your gas tank gets empty. You've got to recognize when that is, you got to see it before we get here. All right? Because if we avoid that and we refuel, then look at that. This is a full tank now. This is the feeling when you fill up your car with gas and you just peel out of the gas station because now you're flooring it, you're spinning the tires and all this kind of stuff, really hot rodding around. You can do that when you've got a full tank. Right? It's that surge of enthusiasm. It's that renewal that we feel. It's like when you've been sick for a while and then finally you're not sick anymore and you just feel like you're 10 feet tall, and you feel like you can just leap tall buildings and this sort of thing. And trust me, I felt that. I was sick for a couple weeks here recently. And then once I started to feel better, it's just like, all right, let's get out and run a marathon. It's just this surge of energy, and that's what the Knight of Wands is. We have to be careful with this too, because this might lead us to flooring the gas pedal for too long, right? Living life at the red line because we feel we can now. We feel invincible. We feel like, nothing can defeat me. Just calm down a little bit there, Sag, okay? But this is that feeling, that renewal of enthusiasm. And I feel like all of this I feel like is part of this month. And I feel like this is really going to be a very important month for you, where you recharge and you feel this renewal of enthusiasm. It could be that you're starting to see the signs of that 8 of Cups a little bit. And we're thinking, okay, we're getting a little bit low on gas. Let's pull over and stop at the gas station. Let's get some snacks, right? And let's keep going. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Gosh, what is that going to be? Well, maybe it'll be, we have our water energy. We've got our fire. We don't really need much. Maybe we need a 6 of Swords. Maybe we need a little bit of air energy. But I think what we need, major arcana. Maybe the universe, world, maybe the Empress. Maybe the Temperance card, your power card, right? Let's see what we have. Aha, 5 of Cups. Was not expecting that. But the 5 of Cups, very nice, because now we've got 9 and 9. We've got 5 and 5, right? So I think the 5 of Cups is kind of a little bit about that temperance energy. We get the enthusiasm, and then we get a little bit of moderation, temperance, calm things down, balance here, right? We know that we have to be able to regulate the vital energy, the driving force, right? And we have to maybe also regulate that emotional energy, right? So we have that 9 of Cups, and of course, well, if we look at it this way, you got a 9 of Wands and a 5 of Wands. You got a 9 of Cups and we got a 5 of Cups. So to me, this is saying, look, you have this ability. Here, your engine can go, your car can go, let's say 120 miles an hour. This says you don't always need to go 120 miles an hour. Maybe you never actually get up to that speed, right? So this is the potential. This is the maximum capabilities. The car can go that fast, but should it? That's up to you. And so in the same way with the water energy, with the kind of the joy, the satisfaction, the love, the excitement, the bliss, let's calm it down a little bit, right? It kind of is where we get to this extreme of joy and bliss and excitement, and sometimes we need to calm it down a little bit. We need to stay a little bit even. Yeah, it's okay to have these big bursts of energy, but we can't live on cloud 9 constantly, right? So with the water energy, it needs to have a little bit of that that regulation. So it feels to me like there is a potential here of really maxing out our joy. Like really this kind of, I don't know, this extreme euphoria, right? And we have to kind of temper that. We have to calm that down a little bit. And so I feel like it's kind of a roller coaster that we're trying to avoid. We don't want to have these manic episodes and then these really deep, deep valleys, right? So we can get this high, right? We can get this blissful, but let's remember that there will be things that disappoint us at some time, right? Not everything is going to be just bliss and euphoria, right? Very good show, actually. Rest in peace, Fezco. We don't always want to be at the red line of our emotion either. Okay? And so we sometimes need to remember that there will be obstacles, there will be disappointments. Life is not always this extreme, red line of joy and bliss either. And if we're always living at that red line, then we're going to take the hit really, really hard. When something kind of unavoidable happens, we're really going to sink to a low, 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 low. Okay? So I think this is really talking about that regulation. We have to try to remain as even as possible. Yeah, we're going to have really intense joy, really high highs, right? But let's avoid the low lows. So we're ready for the speed bumps. We're ready for the obstacles that are going to come. We're ready to be kind of disappointed sometimes. That's all part of the process. And we know that again, kind of creates this dynamic of life that doesn't take away from the overall experience of things, right? So this, I think, is a good balance in the reading here. We don't want to get too carried away by any of these energies. We have to stay in control, I think, but we have to maintain our perspective as well. All right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment and let me know how you're doing. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.